Welcome to day 54 of the 300 Movie Challenge. Today we watched the highest grossing film of November 1998, which was A Bug's Life. Um,
I'm not really sure how I feel about this quite.
yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. So I must have seen this movie like when it came out because my mom very distinctly remembers seeing this in theater, and she's like, "I wouldn't have seen it if I wasn't with you." So that said, I don't remember this at all, and even watching this after the fact, it's not like it triggered any memory or anything. Nope, I still feel like that was the first time I've seen it. So it's not that memorable.
No.
It's
Even
Yeah, I guess that's the
the-
issue.
I only remembered like one scene, which was with the flies going into the light and everything.
Oh, I
And-
didn't even remember that one.
And that was like literally the only scene that I remembered. And I didn't even remember the whole circus act and the whole like all the characters and everything. And I feel like I watched this movie at least a few times when I was little, but I was like, I literally have no idea
Yeah, like in
who
terms of
any of
like,
the characters were.
like I knew that there's the ants, right, and then there's
Yeah.
like I knew about the grasshoppers, and then I remembered the caterpillar, but I didn't know like
Yeah.
anyone else. I was like, who? Okay, apparently there's
It's
this
kind of-
circus.
remember-
I didn't remember that at all, but
Oh.
yeah.
It's kind of funny because, like, when I saw the spider, I was like, oh, it's not the spider from, like, James and the Giant Peach.
No, I thought
and
the
was
same
like-
thing actually.
So you guys thought the same thing?
Yeah.
Because she looks so much like that spider. And that
I
was the
remember
spider I
more
remembered.
from James and the Giant Peach than I did from this movie.
Yeah, me
And the
too.
James the Giant Peach movie isn't even that good.
Yeah, it's,
The
it's
book's
a bit.
noticeably better.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not bad. Like A Bug's Life, it's not. There's really nothing bad about it.
No.
I guess the thing is, it's just so middle of the road that
Yeah.
you don't remember it.
Yeah.
And like even again, like a lot of these movies, they have these like a kind of moral or like a message for kids, right? And
Yeah.
like I think of Toy Story, it's kind of like a thing of like acceptance of stuff, kind of who you are and who other people are, and how like everyone is good at certain things, and like maybe your worldview changes, but you can still keep going, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Decent
Yeah.
morals, right? This is just like believe in yourself. Like that's not a good, interesting moral, right?
Believe in yourself and don't lie. I
Yeah.
guess.
That,
Yeah.
okay.
But
yeah.
so
And the
many
whole.
movies do that much
Yeah.
better too, but
Yeah.
also add a bunch of other morals to it to also like lift up that factor.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
only thing that any put it like was any sort of interesting thing at all, and even that it wasn't that interesting, was that like now I can't even remember the quote, but it was when he. Okay, first of all, the whole stupid like you lied to us, we hate you now, even though like
I don't understand that.
that is such a common thing too, and it's really stupid. But
Like I feel like when she was like, "You lied to us and you lied to me," I was like, I feel like I've heard that
yeah,
like
it's so
in
common.
multiple other genres.
Do we need this?
No,
We
and
don't
again, it's like
need
resolved
this.
in like a few minutes later anyway, so it's like, yeah. But anyway, after that, and they leave with Flick, the main ant dude, and he's like sulking or whatever, and I think it's the spider. She says something like, your screw up like helped us or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? It's the line something about how you screwed up, but like that was a good thing.
Yeah.
And like that
think
was a
so.
little bit interesting because it's implying that like, hey, sometimes just you mess up, but things just happen to fall into place, and that's okay.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
think the praying mantis was the one to say that.
Yeah,
He
okay,
was like, I've made my life up of screw ups, but I turned out okay. or
something like that. Yeah, and like that's decent, but
Yeah.
but again, that still kind of falls under the whole believe in yourself thing, and it's really just that one line, and I was like, oh, that's a good line, but then again, it's like it's not really used again.
If they concentrated on that message, I think it would be a lot more interesting
Yeah.
for a
'Cause-
children's movie.
especially because like at least how it's portrayed in the movie is that he doesn't mess up. It's just that
Yeah.
like he does something and then something completely random happens to make it seem like a mess up, but it's not, right? It would have
Yeah.
been more interesting if he legitimately was screwing things up all the time, but then maybe again somehow behind the scenes that was causing things to fall into place and people weren't noticing. So
Mhm.
and then okay, also the whole like romance between him and like the princess aunt just like was totally like irrelevant.
Like
Yeah,
honestly,
pretty awkward.
honestly,
Actually.
the princess aunt, like the older one, I did not like her at all. I like the small one, the little girl one,
I think everyone liked the little girl one.
because she was like one of the most competent characters.
Yeah, she
in this
actually did
movie.
something.
She's gonna be a good queen.
Yeah.
Her big sister can like go fall into a lake.
Wow. Okay, well, no. Speaking of like disturbing imagery, the freaking like end, holy crap, where he gets like eaten by the birds. That was like, I was like, holy shit, that's dark.
I was like, oh, they're going there.
Yeah, damn.
Because you see the chicks, and like it's shot like a horror movie.
Yeah.
At that point.
I'm thinking like, damn, did I like see this when I was like 4? I probably like shit myself. But yeah, it was.
Birdies were really cute though.
No, the thing is, again, now watching it is pretty funny how, again, the bird is, like, legitimately cute, but how it's, like, shot and animated, it's, like, it's like, kind of scary at the same time. And that's actually really well done in how that's handled.
A horrifying cute monster.
Yeah. Okay, if I do have to praise another character, I legitimately like, Hopper, the main grasshopper guy. Because I really like kind of his... again, he kind of has that personality that, what was it? I guess kind of like the guy from Blade, where he's kind of like, you know, he's the guy who's like, pretends he's tough when he's not actually that tough, right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So he is like that, but at the same time, the whole idea of like, making someone else think that they need you is like a legitimate thing that like happens, right?
Yeah.
And so that was
Yeah.
kind of an really interesting dynamic that I'm glad they kind of worked with. And again, they realized at the end, like, actually, wait, no, we don't, right? And so
Yeah.
I liked that. I liked his interaction with the other grasshopper guys. I don't know. I really liked him, but like, and again, how the end of that was like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I don't know. I really liked him, and then the young one was pretty good. Main character's just kind of like
Meh.
he exists, and then yeah, the older princess is just kind of exists as well.
She's a
Yeah.
bitch.
And then the circus animals, the circus bugs are like, I mean, they are animals, whatever. They're all fine. I don't know. They don't really stand out, honestly.
No, they
Yeah.
seem to go and like fit into stereotypes, kind of.
I would
Yeah,
have liked if the protagonist was like the little girl ant, the tiny one.
Yeah, and she
That would have been really cute.
like...
Because she's like really spunky and she gets things done, and like she still acts like a little girl because like she gets
is.
chased by this bird and she's screaming, and that makes sense
yeah.
because she's like 5.
Oh, actually, one thing that I've found like kind of annoying was when he was leaving the colony, but he had his head up high and everything. But I was like, dude, because everyone else is like working around to try and like fix everything after all the food got lost and everything. And I was just a little bit annoyed about the fact that he didn't seem to feel any pity for what exactly happened, even though the princess kind of... Not to say that the princess was a great character, but she took the
No.
blame for it
Yeah.
Yeah.
and stuff. I didn't really like that part, but...
Yeah, and I think, like, the main character, it's like they're portraying him as kind of, again, like the blank slate kind of character.
But it's
Yeah.
kind of irritating at times.
Yeah, honestly, just in general, I find that blank slate characters are just not that interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
They're not interesting to watch at
yeah,
all.
because again, like, the
No.
main, I don't, because the idea is like, oh, you can put yourself in the role, but it's like, I'm not a fucking ant. So, like, it doesn't work. But even then, you could argue, like, it's just, like, the actual motivations and this stuff, it's just like, no, if I was in this situation, I wouldn't do what he does, right? I'd do something
Yeah.
different. So you need someone who has, like, a more defined personality, because then even if, like, you don't agree with what they're doing, you can, like, understand it from their perspective,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
That's
So,
the same problem with like books like that have come out in kind of recent years, they always make the protagonist as like the self-insert protagonist, and it's just like just write the fucking character. We want to like see different people's perspectives.
Yeah.
Or like
We don't
this...
want to immerse ourselves in a way where in the book this is how you act, but in reality that's not how I would think I would act. So just stop.
Yeah, or like the silent protagonist in video game kind of thing. I don't think that works that well usually either. So it's it's just I don't know. Again, it's not bad. It's just not interesting. So
Yeah.
it's just again, it just kind of creates something that's fine, but it's not. You're not gonna remember it. Like clearly, I didn't. Right?
No.
Yeah. I
Like-
don't see myself ever watching this again. Right?
No.
You know. So
Mhm.
it's just kind of
Also,
there.
the beginning of it, I don't know, Alan, did you watch Lion King 1.5? I know you didn't watch Lion King until we watched
I
it
did not.
in the beginning, but okay. So, in Lion King 1.5, it has like a similar thing in the beginning, at least, where basically it goes into the backstory of Timon and Pumbaa.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Pretty hilarious with how it goes through the whole thing, because it kind of does like the back scenes of Lion King and whatnot. But anyhow, in the beginning, Timon also legitimately fails, like in a similar way that Flick did. But you can understand from Timon's point of view, like what happened and everything, because Timon has a defined personality, and when he does leave, it's not like he leaves because he legitimately doesn't feel bad about anything. He leaves because he never felt that he had a place there and he didn't want to stay there anymore and he wanted to leave.
And then you see his family's reaction, and then you actually feel really sad that he has to leave.
Yeah. So, even though that was a similar situation, I liked how that movie portrayed it, and that wasn't even shown in theaters. But,
Oh, it wasn't?
no, it was a direct-to-video.
Oh, that's so sad. Lion King actually has like good sequels.
I think it's the only Disney movie. It's good.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Lilo and Stitch had a good sequel.
I can't remember what it was about. Oh, this is not what we're talking about. Sorry, guys.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the main thing I think is just what you were saying about the characters. You're just kind of like it happens and you're just like okay, and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't really care. You don't have an investment in these characters.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I will say, what I thought actually you were going to talk about when you said the beginning, is it just weird? Did the beginning feel like really fast?
It did.
Like I felt like
Oh,
it's just like all of a sudden he's going to find the animals. I keep saying animals. I mean they are whatever.
The
fucking-
other bugs.
the other bugs. They get immediately that and I'm like whoa. Like I don't know. It felt too fast. Like we didn't even get to know the characters before they're like.
Yeah.
Off to do a
not,
thing.
yeah,
I mean
there's
again,
not
it
really-
doesn't seem like there is much to know about the characters, but still it could have been nice. I don't know.
Yeah, there's like no setup really.
Yeah. So.
I actually forgot that this was a Pixar.
Oh my god.
No, like I knew about it, but I forgot, like, in the lineup of Pixar movies, I forgot about it in the lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And also, I feel like it looks a little bit worse than Toy Story.
Yeah, it did, I
It
think.
does.
A little
yeah.
bit, and I don't really know what it is exactly. Like, what actually struck me the most was actually the scene with the bird.
Yeah.
And you know how, like, the ground is, like, cracked ground or whatever, kind of that? It
Yeah.
looked really not good. Like, I don't know, it looked like someone, like, spilled chips on the floor, and, like, that was
Yeah,
what you were
that's what I
looking at.
thought. Or like someone just drew lines on a piece of paper.
Yeah, the ground was, like,
Yeah.
not defined. It just looked flat, and I'm like, that's not, honestly, not very good. So,
Yeah.
The
it's...
scenery was also very lackluster as well.
Yeah, it looked like it was, like, just... It definitely didn't look like a field of grass and clovers and
I
stuff.
think what it was more of like a kind of a quantity over quality thing because like, for example, there were scenes where it showed like hundreds of ants on the screen or moving around.
Right.
So
That's
like
true,
that's
yeah.
technically impressive, and all the blades of grass. Like okay, sure, it's technically impressive. You have a lot of stuff, but it's like you know, you have 1,000 pieces of the puzzle, but each piece is just like, eh.
Nah.
So it's
Yeah.
like, you know. So I think I kind of see where they were coming from with that, and I get it as kind of like an exercise in terms of, you know, what they could like focus on to improve.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just kind of an interesting thing that you'd think, because this came out again like what, 3 years after Toy Story, right?
I think about.
I believe so.
Yeah. So
More or less.
yeah, almost exactly. Wow, 3 years and 3 days after Toy Story.
Oh.
So, and what's really interesting is that Toy Story 2 comes out just 1 year after.
And that looks pretty good
And that,
too.
yeah, I remember. Again, I haven't seen it recently, but I remember it looks pretty good. I think, maybe, I guess, I mean, they must have been working on them at the same time.
I guess maybe that's what it
So
was.
is that it?
Know.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting to think about. I'm looking at the list right now, and pretty much afterwards you get like a Pixar movie, roughly, until Cars. You pretty much get one about every year and a half.
Mm.
And then after Cars, you pretty much have one a year, at least. Although, that's interesting.
Hmm?
There were no Pixar movies in 2014.
Oh.
Huh.
It jumps immediately to, it jumps 2 years. Pretty almost exactly 2 years. But then there's one just like 4 months after that.
Oh.
And then, yeah, and then again there's, so they're almost always in June or May. After Cars, they're pretty much all in June and May. And then, yeah, so Monsters University was June 2013, Inside Out was June 2015, then The Good Dinosaur was November 2015, then Finding Dory June 2016, Cars 3 June 2017, and then Coco November 2017. So, I don't know. It's an interesting kind of list of how that's going, but yeah, I don't know. It's to me interesting. It's just kind of interesting to think about that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's just some stuff to think about, and just to kind of see how how this stuff improved over time, and also especially when other companies start getting their hands into this, right? When DreamWorks kind of
That's true.
starts, because we will be getting into some of those films, and just kind of seeing the progression. That will definitely be interesting. Because one thing that's nice about this. What we're doing is that we are definitely seeing like a lot of progression in a fairly short period of time.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's going to be interesting that, you know, we've seen Time Cop and Blade and you know, the other movies that don't have great effects, and then it's like
Jurassic Park.
yeah, and it's like, you know, from our standpoint, like a year later, we'll be seeing like, you know, movies that are coming out now, and it's gonna look amazing, and it's just gonna be interesting to see how it's just progressed so much in that time. But for now, well, we're stuck with where we are. But
1998.
that's 1998. We're here.
It's yeah, it's at least it's better than last year.
Yeah, so considering how much of a shit show the first movie was, this year has been just kind of meh.
Kind of like middle of the road.
Middle of the road,
almost.
leaning less, but middle of the road still. It's
Yeah.
There were some gems.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
hold on.
Yes.
oh yeah. I totally forgot that movie was in this year. I'm sorry. Probably just, if anything, it's probably just because it like
Just made her sad.
it feels like a different movie. You
It's
know
so
what I mean?
surreal that
Yeah.
it's like a good movie.
Yes.
Considering it was surrounded by Godzilla and Armageddon.
Yeah.
Disgraceful.
Anyway, we need to stop. This thing we going for.
Sora just like moved in her sleep when we mentioned Godzilla. And I'm like,
Maybe she's running away in her sleep.
From Godzilla.
maybe she's actually like putting her foot on Godzilla because she's bigger than Godzilla.
Godzilla's destroying New York City, and then Sora just like steps on it.
Thanks, Sora.
Sora's the Godzilla to the Godzilla.
Oh my God. Can we make a movie like that?
I'll be like, oh no. She'll need a very big plant to hide behind.
I mean,
Oh,
the
yeah.
army's still gonna lose her anyway, so you know.
That's true.
somehow.
That's true.
Anyway, one more movie left for 98, and it's rated well, but
I don't know if
considering the
this is the genre.
title and considering the genre, this might still be really aggravating to sit through.
I don't think any of us are gonna like what the next movie.
I don't know. Again, it's rated so well, and it actually
kinda
won a lot of
hoping for a
awards,
nice
but
surprise.
it's just everything stacked against it. But it could be like Titanic, where it's better than I thought. I don't know.
Let's just hope that it's gonna be
Hope.
at least a decent
Yeah.
surprise,
Yeah.
maybe.
Well, Titanic was in the same slot last year, so.
It was.
Oh, true.
Maybe?
December usually has decently good movies because that's when they're like, you know, kind of the award movies are coming out. So
Yeah.
Mm.
we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, you can pass A Bug's Life.
Yes.
And I guess that's that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I'm ready. Recording.
All right. Sora just kicked the laptop.
What a great beginning. Thump.